At this point, and for the rest of this chapter, let's narrow our focus down to just the set of data or information assets, the intangible sets of ideas, numbers, values, or relationships that are the lifeblood of the digital organization. Many information asset inventories are produced and organized in terms of the business processes they support or are involved with, and this provides a useful starting point for investigation. An organization's annual budget is an example of an information asset. This budget probably exists as many different data entries within a number of databases, some of which are directly managed by financial applications. The overall budget planning, review, and approval process may produce any number of working products, from what-if spreadsheet illustrations of spending plans to more complex simulations of revenues and costs. Taken together, all of these files, databases, and printed versions of the same make up the annual budget information asset. This may require an inventory entry for each year's budget, including those in archival storage, so that planners and security analysts can appreciate how many different kinds of data objects and how many locations might need some kind of security protections. You'll note that systems enumeration tools should be able to identify what applications are installed, who their authorized users are, and even where in the storage networks and subsystems the various files used by the databases that support those applications are residing. But those tools can't tell you where this year's budget, as a set of information that needs just enough security protection, is kept. Nor can enumeration tools help you find all the spreadsheets, document files that contain spreadsheets, or all the emails that discuss the arguments for the decisions that get reflected in the approved budget. This case is, unfortunately, quite typical of most modern organizations. Building the information asset inventory from a top-down perspective, as a result, needs to start with knowing the set of critical business processes and using them to identify the sets of information they need as input, as retained corporate memory, and ensuring they produce as outputs to other business units, to outside stakeholders, and as updates to the process's own memory. Other forms of information assets may be easier to identify, locate, and add to the inventory. This could include process control data, such as logs of instrument readings and commands, are generally produced as sets of files by the control systems themselves. These might be organized and cataloged by systems, by products, or by some other characteristic. Another example is network and system security information and monitoring data may be produced by almost every device and application on the organization's networks, or even customer transaction data, including access to their online or kiosk service points, are usually kept in the applications and databases that support them. Central to the task of making an information asset inventory is being able to relate a business or organizational process and its respective priority and risk management to a set of information needed, produced, modified, output, or retained by that process. After all, most business owners and operators think in terms of doing, taking action, manufacturing or using goods and systems, moving materials or people to different locations. They recognize that taking these actions requires decisions, and decisions need and produce information, as do the actions themselves usually. But their focus as business operators has long been on the actions and the things, and thus on the processes that people need to do to make those actions take place.